Hello and welcome to this week's Profit Maximizer Moment. My name is Wayne Belisle. I'm a local CPA with had my own CPA firm for 35 years now this year. Been a CPA since 1978, 70, yeah, 78, somewhere in there, 77. Yeah, long time ago. Anyways, today we're going to talk about profits and having a plan. The title, in my opinion, a little misleading. It says, what was the title? Basically, along the lines of having a profit plan is just doing it in January. My own personal opinion, I've dealt with thousands of business owners, and I would say less than 1% really have a profit plan. What they might have is a sales plan. Okay, that's different. So they might have a sales plan where they're out there going out and getting customers. I had a conversation this morning, came in, needed some bookkeeping for a side business. He accidentally fell into different story. That'll come under the topic of you need to focus because that definitely was a problem. But while I was sitting with him, I've been doing his tax return, and it's something like, why didn't my CPA bring this up to me? Well, this is a good example of that. I mean, I've been doing his tax return, but I almost never meet with this guy because he hasn't made money. Another bookkeeper does it, turns it over to me. Well, I'm looking at it. He's got 5 years worth of business where his sales are anywhere from 1.5 to 2.2 million and has made no money in 5 years. Basically lost money in his highest income years, okay, and broke even, made a little small profit in the other years. So why? Well, again, because like 99% of business owners that start their business, they're looking for sales. They're looking at the top line. And let's be honest, the only reason you're in business is to make a profit so that you can fund your retirement plan, buy a new car, take your family on vacation, update your house, whatever. You're doing it for a reason. Take care of your grandkids, whatever the situation is, send your kids to college. That's why you're not working for somebody else. I mean, I was telling the guy he's you know, obviously very good at what he does, and as a salesperson and running the type of business he's running, he could double or triple his salary working for somebody else. So what's going on? Well, what's going on is pretty simple. He's concentrating on the wrong thing. He's concentrating on sales, not on profit. And even the company, the 1%, maybe 5%, if I'm being generous, who actually have a profit plan, don't really look at it. All right. So what's going on? Well, first of all, they put a budget together, and I'm a strong proponent of budgets. I do mine every year, and I update it a couple times during the year to make sure I'm on track. Most accounting softwares now, you can take your budget, stick it in there by month, and you can see where you're at. But that's not a profit plan either. It's a start. Okay, it's a start. What's a profit plan? A profit plan is actually sitting down and coming up with a plan to how you're going to take this business and make the money you deserve in order to support yourself while not having the business run you. Okay. So what does that come down to? Well, I just finished a 13-week program based on the 90-day profit reset. Okay. This is the first place we start because what the concept behind this in the 13-week course was, let's find, I mean, it's based for exactly the type of business I met with this morning. Somebody who's got a business running between 1.5 and 2.3 million in sales, and something's wrong. We're leaving. Yeah, I use the analogy of a boat with maybe 100 small leaks. Yeah, we're still floating, but it's taking all our energy to put out the fires and take the water out of the bottom of the boat and keep afloat. If the 90-day profit reset and what we're doing is we're sitting down and looking at, all right, how can we fix things now and find the money that's left on the table? So that's step one, but that takes a plan. All right. So as I said, more often than not, the biggest problem business owners have is that we're too busy putting out fires. All right. I challenge myself and all the business owners I coach to commit to 4 hours a week to work in their business to improve their business. First, getting rid of the leaks, but then having a profit plan. All right. So what's the profit plan? The plan is, okay, what you want it to be. All right. And there's no right or wrong answer except not having a profit. Okay. I'd say that's a wrong answer because you might as well go get a job because you're working too hard. What you've basically done, if you're not making a profit, is you basically have created yourself a high stress job. Okay. So maybe your goal is to build a business that you sell when you're 55 or 60 or whatever. Maybe your goal is to build a business that goes on beyond you. That's what I'm trying to do by bringing in other CPAs and then having it buy me out. Okay. Maybe your goal is to um, turn it over to second or third generation. Doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it won't work if it's not profitable. All right. So a profit plan basically starts with the sales part of it, all right, which starts with, and we're not going to go into a lot of detail here, but it starts with making sure you're selling a product that's profitable to the right customer. Okay. Took me years to figure this out. You know, I had to focus on the right thing. So it really came down to my profit plan was, all right, what is it that business owners want to really want? Not what CPAs sell. All right. We sell tax returns and financial statements. Who the heck wants that? All right. We file a tax return because we don't want to go to jail. We do a financial statement because the bank won't lend us money if we don't have it. All right. So I turned that around and said, what do they really want? Well, what business owners want is to make more money and to keep more of it legally from the IRS so that it goes into their pocket. So what we did is we started, okay, let's design everything we do around those two concepts. So, like I tell people, we do three things. We do tax returns that aren't going to get the IRS's attention, we do them as best as possible. We do tax planning to keep as much as possible in your pocket. We do profit coaching with videos like this, the book we put together, the course we're doing that we did, and we'll do again in January. So keep your eyes open. And coaching, one-on-one coaching, which I'm about to get started with people that were in this course. So that is what you need to do in your business first. All right. So first you have to figure out what you're selling and who's buying and improve your sales. Second, then is you need to control your cost. All right. In his business, something's wrong because 85%, but I see this a lot of times, somewhere between 65 to 90% of cost are in two categories: cost of products and labor. Okay. So if you're selling a product, it's going to be higher if you're just a CPA firm with just labor, or a lawyer, doctor, chiropractor, whatever, engineer, they can be a little screwy, but engineering firm, your payroll is going to be your number one thing. Okay. But so those need to be controlled and managed. In the book and in coaching, I have a checklist that goes through to try to make sure we're managing it correctly. All right. Then finally, we're looking at gross profit, which is sales minus cost of goods sold, getting gross profit and getting that maximized. And then sitting down and controlling expenses and taxes. Okay, sounds great. How do you do it? Well, this is where the profit plan comes in. It doesn't happen by accident. I see too many businesses that I've worked with, and the one I met with this morning, because I need, sometimes I should have a sign over my wall that says no pain, no change. The problem was they're comfortable. They're getting paid, they're comfortable. Business is rocking along. Now all of a sudden he's not comfortable. All right. So that's where you need to make the change. Why wait till you're uncomfortable? Make the change and manage your business. So a profit plan is basically an idea of saying, this is where I want to be in 5 years. In order to get there, where do I need to be in a year? In order to get there in a year, what do I need to do in the next 3 months? All right. Because my own personal opinion is you can manage 3 months at a time. That's it. So you sit down and put a 3-month plan together 4 times during the year to hit a profit goal that you said you needed in order to hit your goal at the end, 5, 10 years from now, whatever it is. All right. And then I take the 3 months, what do I need to do in the next month? What do I need to do in the next week? What do I need to do today? You can take it that far. Now, how do you do that? Well, that 4 hours per week, having proper records, looking at them, knowing what's going on, sitting with a coach. One of the biggest mistakes I made was not hiring a coach earlier. And now I have a coach that works with me on the marketing side and help me get the coaching program going and up and running. And another one that's just my business coach to bounce ideas off and to see things that I don't see because I'm too close to the business. Should have done that a long time ago. I didn't because, heck, I'm a CPA. I know business. What the heck do I need somebody else to help me? Big mistake. Should have not done that. So find a coach. We'll be happy to help you. So I mean, but you need to have to start with. I need good records. Okay, so if you don't have good records, you should be looking at 5 things every month, and I would say every week, which is a good start. All right, which is what cash do you have in the bank? Who owes you money? Who do you owe? Who's buying from you and what are they buying? Sales reports, and then profit and loss. Am I making money? And you'd be amazed how few business owners now there, I'd say less than 5 to 10% are actually doing this. All right. So without that, that's your first step. But that's a measurement of your profit plan. So there, you got to sit down at the beginning of the year, have a profit plan, and then review it every week. It would be best. Sorry, I forgot to put that on Do Not Disturb. My bad. Yeah, my bad. Sorry about that. And then have a way to look at it and process the plan. I'm a strong believer in coming up with, I think you can work on 3 things the most that have the biggest impact on your business. Start with those, and you identify those by going through the 90-day course or the book. You identify what are the top 3 things, or having a meeting with me. Call, get on my calendar, or WayneBelisle.com/clarity, and let's have an appointment and let's identify those top 3 things. Once you take care of the easy things, what do you do next? Because that's the question I get. Well, you're never done. It's bad news. You're never done. All right. So I like once I've patched the leaks in the boat, now it's to set a plan where we're going. And then the way to get there, you don't just go from here to there. It's 2% per month is what I aim for. All right. So if I can increase my profits by 2% per month, why? Well, first of all, it's something that a business owner can handle. Like, I can come up with a way to cut costs by 2%, increase efficiencies by 2%, increase sales by 2%, get my gross margins increased by 2%. If I do that monthly, now I'm looking at smaller bites that I can handle. Well, what happens though? The power of compounding. In 36 months, you you doubled your business. You doubled your profits. All right. So how do you do a profit plan? Well, first you got to have one. So I've given you a lot of steps here. Um, Understand, if you don't actually have a profit plan, then what you have is a wish, and you're like a boat, using my analogy, that's just floating. You're just kind of letting the wind take you where it goes. You don't know what's going on. You're just heading out there. The businesses that are most successful have a plan, and they work the plan. All right. There's a lot here, a lot more that could happen. Like I said, don't be afraid to get on my calendar or email me at wayne@wjb-cpa.com. You can also book a call with me, waynebelisle.com/clarity. And you can get in there. You can call me, 915-857-8158, and get on a calendar. I can do a Zoom call, or I'd rather meet you in person, but because I'm old school, but I can do Zoom calls too. Hey, until next time, this is Wayne Belisle saying, let's make this our most profitable year ever. Until next, have a great weekend. God bless, and see you at church. Take care. Bye. And the stream.